Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and today I'm going to be taking a look at this lightweight 3-gram camera for micro FPV that BANGGOOD have sent me. Now, a lot of people ask me what cameras am I using for my FPV plate, and I reluctantly say it's the 1-gram camera from FPV Hobby. Why reluctantly? Well, to make decent use out of it, in my opinion, you need that wide-angle lens. Unfortunately, it's been out of stock for about a year, so I can't really recommend it. But now we are getting these other options, and there's going to be further options coming out on the channel as well. Another disadvantage of this is it's $54 or about 24 GBP, and that is without the wide-angle lens. The wide-angle lens was an extra $14. This one is 6 GBP, £6.50 to be exact, which is absolutely mind-blowing, I think. This has got a 170-degree wide-angle lens, and this one is 119. So we've got a wide-angle lens as well, and the weight of it being 3 grams includes the wide-angle lens. It's also got a microphone on it as well, underneath, but I'm not going to be using that in the video. I'm also planning on doing a full build video of this FPV plate. A lot of people liked the 808 plate that I built, but I didn't include the soldering, so I'm going to do that as well. That is going to be the video after this. I'm going to be putting links in the description of this camera if you are wanting to buy it. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. It's great. So I've got this strapped to my Alien Wii base quadcopter, which you saw in the Alien Wii video. I'm also using the rolling spider parrot props here as well. The thrust on these is really good. You have to be careful though, as I mentioned before, they do vibrate. You have to make sure that you've got a decent set before your flight. So without further ado, let's go and check out the quality. So my first impressions, I think I'm actually speechless. I can't believe how good this thing is. I mean, £6.50 this cost. Anyway, let's talk about it a bit. So, some of you may be thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that wide-angle lens, and that was my initial worry. But after flying it for a while, I think I prefer it. It gives a much more accurate speed that the craft is doing. Now, I never thought these micros or minis, whatever you want to call them, as being fast aircraft. But whilst I was flying this, a chap who was walking his dog actually came up to me and said, wow, that thing's so fast. And he's right, it is. It doesn't feel that with the FPV Hobby camera, as I try some proximity here. Yeah, I really got used to this camera, and the colour is amazing. I actually prefer the colour to the FPV Hobby camera. I think it's got more saturation. I think the dynamic range may actually be slightly better on this one. I did some proximity flying through these trees here, and I did a lot more crashes with the FPV Hobby camera than this one. I think it did better pointing into the sun, which, anyways, yeah, it's hard to explain because of the price difference. And I'm going to take a look at the wide-angle lens as well, because maybe it isn't going to be for everybody. It's certainly for me, and for £6, how could anyone complain about it? But I'm going to take a look at the size in my full-length build video. I'm also going to compare it to the FPV Hobby camera, check out different light scenarios and stuff, and see how they actually compare. But this footage was taken at about 6:30, so the sun was fairly low. I mean, it wasn't like dusk low, but it was fairly low, and the camera just coped amazingly in it. And I compared it to the FPV Hobby camera, and it was on par. The only thing that was different, really, again, was this camera had more saturation, and there was a less of a distortion on the FPV Hobby camera, just because the angle isn't so wide. I love that shot. I tell you as well, the Alien Wii controller board really doing it justice as well, because this thing is just like it's on rails. Look, I got so much confidence with it now, just flipping around trees and stuff like that. The board is absolutely fantastic. It was quite a windy day, but you wouldn't know it, because I don't know how it does it, but just doesn't seem to be affected by the wind at all. I'm doing all these sorts of crazy flips, and apologies for the amount of flips. Maybe I got carried away. I just really enjoy it. I do a bit of a pirouette here. I've got it in angle mode, and just some really low flips. I tell you, these rolling spider props, if you pick a decent pair, then the thrust on them is just amazing. You don't have any problems with lift, and when you do a flip, you don't lose any height there. You can see I'm doing it really low down. I'm not sure that I would be doing it as low if I was using the 808 plate. It's a little bit less thrust with the 808 plate as I veer off into the trees again. And I should say I have practiced this into the trees quite a bit. I love that shot as well. It sort of spins and you can sort of see me flying there, and keeps me in shot. But yeah, I had a lot of crashes before I got a flight this good. Just look at the sky as well. You can see all the clouds. You can see the blue in the sky. It's just no problem at all. I mean, I'm just so shocked for this little price. How are they doing it? I don't know. Or maybe just the other cameras are so cheap and they're overpriced in the shops. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to tell you guys, I'm recommending this camera for your micro FPV plate. It is just great, and as I say, coming up on the channel, it's going to be a full video. Look at these rolls. It's going to be a full video of how to solder every part that I'm using. It's quite a long video. That's why I'm doing this sort of review of the camera here. But then I'm also going to do the second video on how to build it, how to get this footage, because I think it's absolutely brilliant. Honestly, this is the most fun that I've had out flying. Or I haven't had many days when I could fly, but the Alien Wii board, in conjunction with this FPV plate, look at the thing, it's just flipping and just absolutely no problem. It feels like I'm flying a much bigger quad, or you know, or plane. You know, I've got the Hubsan Spyhawk plane, and it's not as maneuverable as this, and the quality isn't as good, and you certainly can't do aerobatics with it like that. And also, it's not as smooth as this as well. So I'm really enjoying these micro quads at the moment. As I fly into the street there, I went a little bit far, and fly back on myself. And a nice flip. I had no worries about flipping over the top of me. Usually I would worry about it dropping on me, but I had lots of confidence with this. I did a little flip in the street there, and we kissed the ground. That was evidence that the battery is getting low, but we have like a 7-minute flight here. You know, the flight times were amazing. It's using the Nanotech 750 milliamp. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching this video. Please continue to subscribe, and cheers.